Today is the longest day of the year. Happy summer solstice. And it's a reminder from nature that you are allowed to slow down and breathe and let your best ideas catch up to you. Have you ever noticed that when you actually give yourself a moment, it could be a walk, it could be a little bit of like time watching nature, just having that brief window that so many of us are not really ever taking. Do you notice how you can often be flooded or be reminded of something that is the universe and your intuition working together, attempting to communicate with you? What the summer solstice always reminds me, and I wasn't always really connected to nature in this way. I honestly think that some of it came when I went through my yoga teacher training journey over 10 years ago, when my whole nervous system slowed down, because being immersed in that world, that's what's available. I was on a journey with Yoga Works, which was the premier place that had been founded in Los Angeles long ago. It doesn't exist anymore. That's a whole other story that makes me sad. So I'm not sure where you're at in your experience with nature, but I want to talk about the power of what this day represents and what's available. And when you take a moment to notice that it's the longest day of the year, there's so many things that this day represents, and it really offers the opportunity to slow down. I think that's one of the most, as an adult, I think it's one of the best parts of summer is that even though you might have holidays or you might be busy with stuff, the energy of the vibration of what's happening around you tends to slow down. It's usually when things aren't happening as much, kids are out of school, the demand changes on this energy of this world that we all share, and it creates an opportunity to slow down. And what happens when you have a chance to slow down is that, and if you hold on not filling that space, because so many of us are so used to having every second be filled, that when you're not used to it, you could unconsciously fill it. And yet we all know that there is a burnout, there is a fatigue, there is an opportunity to come home to self that's happening across this world right now, and definitely in the United States, and absolutely for women and women of color. One of the ways that you can be supported in that slowing down is in creating a relationship with nature. It could be hiking, it could be bodies of water. It could be just a walk in the forest or along a shoreline. It could be gardening. I mean, there's just, I mean, that's what's so powerful that we get to be a part of, is this thing in the sky that's rotating, that we are all existing on, is miraculous, and it's unendingly generous. I was trying to think a moment ago of when did I really get it. I will say that what just came to me is when I was introduced to this land, it was about over 30 acres of land in Mount Shasta. It's actually in Weed, California, which is just north of Mount Shasta. I had never experienced that. I have been camping, I've been hiking, I born and raised in Los Angeles, so haven't always lived here, but I definitely know the ocean and know the beach, and it is a place that, even though I live next to it and I can visit it often, that was not always my experience. And it's oh, I I take it for granted in that I don't visit it enough, but not in my experience of every time I'm there, I just drop into a different frequency. And that's really what I wanted to share in this video about the summer solstice, is that there is a vibration that's always present. It's just we're so busy, and so much is so busy that it can really drown out, because nature is not forceful. Even all the things that can happen with nature, nature's intention is not to impose itself. That's what humans do. And if you lean into nature in a way that is available to you, I remember I was working with a coach over a decade ago, and he used to say, if somebody felt stuck or you weren't feeling inspired, he would just say, "Go for a walk." And people would say, "Well, for how long?" And he's like, "Until, until you get your answer, until you get your idea." And I've never gone on a walk and not had information, ideas, things, synapses connecting in my brain. The point being is the opportunity to recognize that we are all a part of nature, and nature is always available, and it is one of the most accessible and immediate things available to be a healing balm, to be an agent to your nervous system, to whatever it is that, is going on for you. If you would like answers, if you would like clarity, if you would like to feel more connected to yourself, if you would like to feel more relaxed, if you want to feel love or beauty, like every one of those can happen in some kind of interaction with nature, and almost all of them can happen on a walk. That's something I wanted to share, is that you are nature. We are not separate from nature. Every being, every sentient being, which includes humans, has a purpose and a place in this ecosystem that we all get to share. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have even have thought about any of this had I not gotten connected to nature, and had I not gone on my yoga teacher training journey, and had I not found ways to slow myself down so that I could like participate in this other layer of offering that's here on this human journey. That's something I wanted to remind you of in this video, is let the summer solstice be a reminder of what you are a part of and what you get to be a part of. Just by being born, it is here for you. My journey, my personal journey in this life that I've come to really embrace, and even most recently put a stake in the ground, that I am building a movement called Heal Your Part, which is really about being on a mission to reconnect, recalibrate, reimagine our relationship with healing, what healing is, what it can be, where it's already happening, the healing that we see out here, the healing that's available here, just healing in general. Because to me, it's just a part of being on the human journey, but yet it's a topic that can be a little taboo, or it can be a little uncomfortable, or it can be, even when it got put into like the woo category, it's like, how did that ever happen? I mean, you cannot be a human and not have healing be a part of your life. To the degree that your healing is going on is obviously a personal choice. Really, what's motivating me, and this is something that I feel like has been coming through me, and I'm sharing this story as a bit of a case study for you, because really what I wanted to make sure I included was the message of how important it is for you to be doing and participating in the work that you came here to do, that your soul came here to do, that your person was intended for, and that is often a outpouring or a culmination of everything that you've been a part of, including, and most essentially, your deepest challenging wounds and pain. Because we often have the opportunity to turn pain into purpose. And that's part of what helps us get to know who we are and become who we are, become more revealed to ourselves. So, this mission of Heal Your Part is the outcome of this relentless, whether I wanted to or not, and I've surrendered to it, interest, curiosity, focus, drawing to the what's going on the inside, because I could always see that what's happening on the outside is only going to shift when we look at what's happening on the inside. When I look at the world that's our civilization, our humanity, our society right now, what I see a lot of is a lot of unhealed people, because we weren't taught any of this, by the way. That's why this exists this way. We weren't taught. these ideas around healing has stigma. That's why it's taken me so long to own it, because even I needed to be brave enough to claim it, even though it's not something that I can probably pull up a thousand, 10,000, 1 million people until it has some kind of emotional story to it that helps draw in that part of people and spreads on its own. And that's what I'm believing is part of this work that I'm here to leave, and God's in charge. And really why I'm sharing this case study is that this is a body of work that I know is why I'm here. What I was paying attention to started in high school, and it caused me actually a lot of pain for a long time because I was asking questions that I couldn't really answer and I couldn't understand back then. There's so many layers to that. My point in even sharing that piece is that that's often why we don't see it, is that it's disguised and we think that our purpose or our work is supposed to be something that's just amazing all the time. And it's like, it's the work that you were designed to do. And that all the things that you've been doing your whole life was literally preparing you for the work that you're here to do. And maybe you're already doing it. Maybe you're in a part of it right now. That would be really wonderful. I would love to know that. Summer solstice is a powerful day to have a new beginning, to recognize what you are a part of, to know that you are not separate and you are not alone and you are not lacking anything that you feel like you don't have in your life right now, even though it might feel real and it might be a challenge for you in the physical realm. You are a soul having a human experience, and your soul is completely intact. When we are connected to that, and it's hard to stay connected to that because the vibration of this world is not there all the time. It's not there hardly ever, right? And if you're still listening to this, it's because this is the path that you are on. This is the path that you're choosing to be on. This is the path that's drawing you in, that you might already be on wholeheartedly, or you might be dipping your toe in. But it's not something special for certain people like me or you. It's available for all of us, just not all of us are aware that it exists or are listening. And so when you think about yourself in that way, that you are actually a soul, you're not a human with a soul, you are a soul having a human experience, then you can start to gain some altitude. When you recognize that you are not separate from nature, you are nature, then you become less just a like the person with the name and all the attributes that you've assigned, which by the way, all of them often come with an evaluation. You release all of that and you see the miraculousness that is you, the beauty of your heart and the things that you care about and the special gifts that you came with and that you've cultivated, and the many people that are like touched by the fact that you are even here. It's like all of that. So the last thing I want to leave you with that just maybe puts one more layer of this that I just haven't said overtly, and that is that we are all energy. Everything is energy. This chair, these pictures, me, you, we're all energy, right? We know that scientifically. I think Newton taught us that. We are all energy and we are all vibrating on a certain frequency at any given moment. And we're often just not thinking about it like that. We're not connected to it in that way in a moment by moment basis. And one of the reasons why I love to spend time with nature, and even definitely I can get so caught up in what I'm doing that I have a hard time pulling myself away, and I never regret it because it always helps me come back to being in conscious relationship with my wholeness, with my fullness, not just parts of myself, not just like trying to overuse my brain and not be listening to my body and so on and so forth. But there is an energetic vibration. And when you stay aware of that, then you can notice when you're in things, around things, including people and places that don't really support the vibration that you want to be in. And you might just know that by how you feel, but just paying attention to that and finding the places in nature that help you remember that about yourself. So, summer solstice is not just the beginning of summer. It's not just I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but I had dinner with a dear friend of mine that I've known since the fourth grade last week. And we were walking. And I said, even though we were both agreeing that even though I don't feel the need to go back and do over all that. And that feeling of summer beginning and the longer days and just the freedom that comes with summer. I remember that vividly. Even in the midst of, like, all the crazy stuff that life would bring. There is that. And that's what this can be. And also a reminder that you are a part of this. This is not happening separate from you. But you have free will. And so plugging into it is your job. And so I just encourage you, because your vibration and your energy and your well being and your sense of self and your moving closer to the work you're here to do is why you're here. If you're new to me, my name is Jennifer, and I am here every day to remind you that your truth is your power. So trust yourself and watch your life transform. I'll see you tomorrow.